It's not the single most important challenge because there's a double challenge here, which is overcoming poverty and managing climate change. If we fail on one, we'll fail on the other. Obviously, if we fail to manage climate change, we create an environment so hostile that development will be reversed and in many cases destroyed. If, on the other hand, we try to manage climate change by putting obstacles to overcoming poverty in the next 20 or 30 years, we will not put together the coalition that we need to manage climate change. But of course, as I've argued, the alternative path is enormously attractive. It's better growth, in many ways stronger growth, so that if we do break the link between economic activity and emissions of greenhouse gases and other forms of pollution, we will generate through that process a process of growth through the innovation investment that it brings. So I'm careful about talking about the single challenge because it's those two challenges together. And as we talk about that process of overcoming poverty and managing climate change, we see also that we will avoid damaging the environment in many other ways. Air pollution is a terrible problem, killing probably tens of millions around the world, killing 4,000 a day at least already in China. India is far worse, and our own countries in Europe are not very good in terms of air pollution. So those are big challenges as well, but they're wound up, interwoven with the challenges of managing climate change. We're much best off tackling those together. Now, that's a story which in large measure is driven by innovation and investment. And most of that will be private sector. So private sector sees the problem of climate change, sees the way the world has to go, looks at what policies are likely to come and anticipates. And that's why you see this enormous technical progress, for example. The extraordinary cost reductions we've seen in solar PV, divided by 10 over the last decade, the cost of a solar PV panel. Who would have thought we'd have plug-in hybrids from almost all the car manufacturers? If we looked forward 6 or 7 years ago to now, I don't think many people would have predicted that. The way the digital advances have helped us become much more adept at managing our energy use. So we've seen, even though public policy has not been that good and the signals have been less clear and strong than they should have been, nevertheless, you're seeing quite powerful reaction from business. And if those signals were clearer and stronger in public policy, the reaction would be even stronger. So government sets the framework, but in many ways, the policy framework, the institutional framework, but in many ways, industry, business is looking farther ahead than many governments and seeing the way the world has to go and inventing ideas and products, innovations, which will do well in that changing world.